Man, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit peeved off right now. Even though it's Christmas time, I got no hope left. The dollar is collapsing. Ukraine and Russia are still going at it.
Thoughts on war in Ukraine? I don't know nothing about that, y'all, to be honest.
It's getting hotter and hotter every year, god dang!
What do I do? What do we do? What am I supposed to do? What power? I have no power here.
I need to pick me up, man. I'm feeling just... I got some chalky milk here, the one and only. Okay, now that I've got your attention, kia ora whanau, and welcome to the Cam Hall Variety Show.
The Cam Hall Variety Show. The Cam Hall Variety Show. The Cam Hall Variety Show.
Now, since this is a variety show, anything goes. I only really called it that because I have too many hobbies and I like to do too many things, and I don't know what I want to do. If it's just a variety show, then anything goes, right? Hopefully the birds outside my window aren't going to be too distracting. Anyway, today I want to tell you about an app called Living Scriptures and a Christmas movie, a true hidden gem that I found while I was looking for Christmas movies to watch. But a little more on that in a minute. Living Scriptures is basically the Mormon equivalent of Netflix. Unlimited, clean, inspiring shows for all. Now, despite what you might think, there are actually some classics on here. Some true Mormon classics. If you're a Mormon yourself, you'll know these. The Other Side of Heaven, The Best 2 Years, Charlie, The RM, Baptist at Our Barbecue.
You step out of that truck and you face me like a real Mormon!
Actual good movies, and I would love to make some videos on them in the future, so stick around for that. So there are some actual good movies on here, but the bar also seems to be really low for what they'll let onto the site, and I am so glad. Otherwise, I never would have had the pleasure of finding one of my favorite bad Christmas movies of all time. A Borrowed Christmas.
The best gift I know.
I don't want to even give context for what you're about to experience. I feel like the best way to show you just how baffling this movie is for you to simply just start watching it. Now try and put yourself in my shoes. It's mid-December. Your mum keeps saying that you should watch Christmas movies because it's Christmas time and we need to get into the Christmas spirit. And you and your siblings push play on this.
Christmas.
Yes! Oh, you know you're in for a treat. You know you're in for a treat as soon as you push play. I think you can just imagine our faces when this started playing. It was like being sent a gift from the gods. It was a true moment of revelation. It made me think, maybe the church really is true. Because God is sending me this gem right now. Now, I gotta talk just a little bit about this intro song because it's such a beautiful, wholesome ballad.
Puppies showing just their nose and paws.
The song was written by Rod McBreen and sung by Kira O'Brien. Now, I couldn't find anything on Rod McBreen except someone else who was like a music icon. I don't think that that's him.
Put your finger on the ribbon while I tie the bow.
I could be wrong. But Kira O'Brien, assuming this is the same one, does make a little bit of other music.
As I look into your eyes, they say you're lost.
And she also voices over some things for TV. She has a video of her doing voiceovers for Hemorrhoid Cream.
Are your hemorrhoids acting up? Stop suffering in silence.
No judgment here. She's actually quite good at it. God damn, this is such a beautiful intro to this mind-blowing movie.
Christmas is for children.
Ooh, Comic Sans alert! A Comic Sans! Comic Sans in the building! It's even wiggling! Why is it wiggling? It's like a PowerPoint presentation. So we've got this goofy ass song, Comic Sans, and the text is wiggling. It's like we're already off to, it's like the perfect trifecta. It's like the, what's it called? It's like the Holy Trinity. It's too beautiful. It's too beautiful. Okay, I need to move on because the intro, I could talk about the intro for ages.
Smell good.
Okay, here we go. Now we get into the movie. We open on our main character who is running a rent shop. Yes, she runs a renting shop. We rent anything. Then this gentleman walks in.
Hello? How can I help you, sir?
Yes, sir. May I help you today?
And god damn, may I just say, that is a chiseled man. He's the only one who looks like an actor in this movie. The other two just look like regular people. I guess they only had the budget for one real actor in this movie, and everyone else was just friends and family. This guy's name is Jeff Rose. He has an IMDb page and everything. Jeff in this movie plays John Dale, a reclusive single millionaire who hasn't experienced a real at-home Christmas in a long time. So he goes to this rent store and he asks this.
I would like to rent a Christmas.
And he just smiles. Huh?
I mean, all of your signs, all over the store, they say, we rent anything. So why not a Christmas?
And then Anne just goes along with it.
Why not?
You know, as if she understands what that means. John then goes through the details of the Christmas that he wants.
It must start the afternoon before Christmas and last through Christmas night. And there must be a beautifully decorated tree. Christmas presents, Christmas carols, the works.
Christmas tree, okay. The works, okay. Great. Sounds like we got everything, right?
No,
Oh?
we haven't gotten to the most important things yet.
Oh, okay. No, that's fair enough. Do you need, like, stockings or like a Christmas dinner or...
There needs to be 5 children.
Hey, sorry?
We haven't gotten to the most important things yet.
He needs how many? How many of those?
5 children.
Yes, that's right. He also wants 5 children from the rent shop. Then he says he needs a wife, and she creams. I can't say that. Obviously, because he's saying he needs a wife, this leads her to asking if he's married.
You are not married.
Way to sneaky weaky your way in there. That is a great way to ask the "Are you single?" question.
And I think that should do it.
Thank God that's over.
Although I would like to make one other request.
Dude, more? What more could you possibly want? You've already got the works. And all your little kiddies.
I want this to look like a Norman Rockwell Christmas. Just like it was in the early 20th century.
Dude, who's even specifying the time period? Dude, this guy's definitely ordering a marinated fantasy. He's been sitting on this one for a couple years. Now, for all of this, how much do you think that would cost?
This isn't going to be cheap.
10 grand. This man is paying 10 grand for a Christmas. 10 grand on a Christmas! Dang, that's a lot. And then he flexes on it. It's like, money's no object.
Money is no object.
Anyway, then he gives her his card because, you know, she's going to need his address.
Here's my card.
New card. What do you think?
And then she finds out that he is John Dale. The John Dale.
John Dale. You're John Dale.
She says that she walks past his mansion every day on the way to work. And he says,
I know. I've seen you many times.
God, man, this guy's... He knows. Stalker looking ass. And she is just smitten, super flustered.
Let me get your receipt. There you go.
Thank you, Miss Weston.
And Miss Ann Weston.
It is certainly a pleasure to meet you. Good day.
Then Mr. John Dale goes on his merry way and Jimmy has to get Anne's attention because she's just too smitten by the hot single millionaire who's renting a Christmas. Then she starts fretting about how she's gonna put all this together. A wife and kids. Then old Jimbo comes out with the zing.
Why couldn't you have wanted a lawnmower? We got plenty of those in the back.
Bazinga. Anyway, Anne decides that the best way to get this all to happen is just to pretend like it's a play. So Anne calls the Actors Guild and starts to put together this makeshift family.
Actors Guild, can I help you?
And so begins our 1.5 hour journey that we're only 10 minutes into. So now we get to meet the 2 staff that John has on retainer. Martha, who's over by the flowers, and Bridget, who speaks like Forrest Gump.
We need to cooperate, so that's what we're gonna do.
John's already let them know what's happening, and Martha is losing her mind over the concept of this. Rightly so.
A rented Christmas? What was Mr. Dale thinking of?
Here she is.
Good old Anne swings by and is ready to meet the house staff and start discussing the plans.
Please, come in.
Hey, Martha.
She does a great job saying a line. No need for a second take.
Did Mr. Dell tell you the plans that he had?
We can't do another take. This reel's hot. It's rolling and we need to keep going. We then get a little bit of insight into why John wants this Christmas.
There's been no Christmas in this house for many years, ever since Mr. Dale's parents passed away.
And then Martha peeps in.
That's the way Mr. Dale preferred it.
Which makes it sound like he wanted his parents dead. Anne starts getting to know the girls a little bit more and finds out that Martha grows flowers in her room.
I grow them in my room.
You do? Your room?
Which I don't know how you do unless you've converted your room into a tiny house. Does the room not have a roof? Is it a greenhouse?
Flowers are my hobby.
Then the three get back on topic and they start going over all the things that Mr. Dale wants for the Christmas.
I suppose you two are wondering what this is all about.
Yes, we are.
Last Saturday, Mr. Dale came into my shop. I want to rent a Christmas.
Borrow.
Excuse me?
He wants to borrow a Christmas.
He wanted to have a wife and 5 children. He wanted a Norman Rockwell painting look. Just doesn't seem much like a Christmas to me. So I wanted to personalize it.
Now Anne wants to get to know the guy a little more. You know, how can she tailor this Christmas to be exactly what he wants? You know, maybe there's some childhood things that I can put in. Maybe I need to know what his favorite color of tinsel is. So Anne starts to ask the help a little bit more about Mr. Dale. You know, tell me about Mr. Dale. And this is what they start with.
Mr. Dale's parents were in an accident some time ago. It was about this time of the year. His father was killed and his mother was essentially an invalid.
They start talking about how Mr. Dale's parents died in a car crash. Dad was killed and the mum was made a vegetable. Okay, I kind of meant, what was his favorite toy? Maybe. Anyway, Mr. Dale has a brother that lives in California, kind of distant. He never comes back into it again.
He has a brother, Lyle. Lyle lives with his family in California.
But the house staff start reminiscing about old memories of Mr. Dale and the brother together, which is kind of sweet.
Like 2 peas in a pod.
They kind of just do it together and Anna's just on the sidelines.
They fish together, sometimes for the whole day.
Then the house staff start talking a little bit more about the childhood home. Now, the childhood home was apparently demolished and there's only one person who has a photo of it.
Mr. Dale's father had a picture taken one spring, but I don't know where it would be.
And Anne thinks it would be a really good idea if they could get that photo and frame it as a present for John. Really nice. Now, this could be a whole scene, but they don't have the budget for that, so we never learn how she gets the photo. She just has it. She just kind of comes in and she's like, I have the photo, and everyone's like, whoa, how did you do that? It's like, I don't know, we didn't have the budget to shoot this part.
Do you think you could?
And then it's time for Anne to leave, so she asks Bridget to get a coat, and then for some reason asks Martha to come with her.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Why don't you come with me?
And then Martha acts like she's not allowed out of the house.
Well, I...
Man, the red flags are there, I'm telling you. It's bizarre how many red flags this guy has. Anyway, Anne and Martha leave to go get the presents, and then we move on to the next scene, which starts with a random establishing shot, and then we're back in the mansion? Okay.
It's Weston!
Bridget, I got it!
Anne's back and she's got the photo.
You got the
picture!
Huzzah, what an achievement. Then Martha smells the photo for some reason. The wide shot for the next part is way out of focus.
Look at those colors.
And then I'm pretty sure Martha improvs this line because she kind of cuts off Anne.
Bridget, would you do me a favor?
Imagine 5 children.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turns out Bridget has a surprise.
And I have a surprise for you. I do.
But no time for that. There's the doorbell.
Okay, awesome. Oh,
And time for another one of Anne's beautiful line deliveries.
there's the door. Is it all right? It's probably the ones I'm expecting.
We just couldn't do another take.
Jimmy!
Oh, what a surprise. It's not the ones you were expecting. It's Jimmy. Then they come in and Jimmy very quietly says that he has bad news.
Miss Weston, I've got bad news.
What?
Wow.
Anne starts freaking out. What could the bad news be? Jimmy's too distracted. I mean, he is in a freaking mansion after all.
Look at this place.
What's the bad news?
Jimmy says the bad news is that the kids from the Actors Guild won't be able to act in this borrowed Christmas. No, dude!
Why aren't they coming?
Because 2 of them have measles and the others just don't want to. Because why would they? It's Christmas.
What about the mother?
Well, that's the worst part.
Not only that, but they haven't found a wife for Mr. Dale yet. What the heck are they gonna do? Anyway, Jimmy volunteers to be one of the kids, and Anne starts calling him Robert De Niro because he's such a good actor.
You would be great. You're like a Robert De Niro.
If his acting thus far has anything to go off, she hit the nail right on the head.
Okay, fine by me. Fine.
Then Anne says Jimmy should be called Jack because Mr. Dale will like that.
We're gonna have to change your name. We're gonna have to change your name to Jack. John would like that.
And we get a very small context clue that Jimmy might be an orphan, which is actually confirmed later when Jimmy says he wants to play the part because he wants to be a part of a real family. Jimmy starts moping, I guess. He doesn't really seem that sad about not having a family.
No, I just want the chance to be in a real home with a family and a real mother and father. Even if it's just for one day.
And then Anne says, I lost my daddy at 14.
I lost my daddy at 14.
Just to chuck it in there. Anyway, so they got one of the kids covered. They just need to get 4 more. They have to start getting some ideas together on how they're going to get these other kids. So they start doing the movie trope of pacing back and forth, going, no. But what if... No. Anyway, this goes on for way too long. And then they both at the same time say...
The orphanage!
Talk about great minds.
Yes!
They both, at the same time, come up with the brilliant idea of hiring orphans to play the kids. That's such a genius idea. They already want to be in a family, so why not just let them pretend? Of course we pick orphans. They'll be begging to pretend to have a family, even for 1 second. So they're going to have orphan kids. Kids whose parents probably just passed away, and they want them to pretend to be in a loving family. Damn. Then Anne asks Jimmy if he has any suggestions on who should play the parts.
Any suggestions?
Because Jimmy's an orphan. He's got to know the local orphans. He is one after all. Then they both again have the same idea at the exact same time, and they both suggest Jean.
Jean?
Well, naturally we would choose Jean.
Well, obviously Jean. Now, we don't know this yet, but Jean is the girl that Jimmy likes. He has a crush on Jean. And then he says that it'll be interesting to play her brother.
Don't you think it'd make you feel a little awkward or...
That would be interesting.
It'd be interesting.
There's a lot of fantasies in this movie, isn't there? Damn. Unlimited clean entertainment, my booty cheeks. Anyway, they suss out the other kids between them.
Cynthia did a really good job in the play at the orphanage last time. Lily did too. Okay, yeah, you mean Letty.
Yeah, she would be the one.
But then they remember, there's other orphans at the orphanage. What are they going to do? Just leave them out?
I got an idea. We could use them as the carers.
Everyone can help. Miss Lindsay would love to do it.
That would be perfect.
We're going to get them to be carolers.
That would be perfect.
So close to being in a family. Anyway, Anne calls the orphanage director and she is 100% down with the idea. Absolutely nothing wrong or immoral about this at all. And here comes Bridget with the surprise.
Here's the surprise!
I bet you forgot about her. So Anne introduces Jimmy to Bridget, but the shot isn't on them.
Bridget, I'd like for you to meet Jimmy. He helps me out at the shop.
It's still on Anne. And then it's on Anne's shoes, and then it's on the scarf that drops. The reason it focuses on the scarf is because that sucker is going to come back later in the movie. Don't forget about the scarf. Anne touches Jimmy very naturally on the knee.
Hey, check that out.
And they tell Bridget all about their fantastic plan about getting orphans to play the kids. Bridget doesn't see that this is messed up.
That
is great.
She's 100% down with the idea.
Martha will be so happy to hear that.
Alright, this movie is woo. Then Bridget calls Martha down.
Martha!
Bridget pulls a little gotcha moment on Martha.
The children from the Actors Guild aren't coming.
What? They're not coming?
It's the children from the orphanage.
It's the children from the orphanage. Got 'em.
That's wonderful.
It is getting dark now. Should I turn on the light? Did that make a difference? Oh, that made all the difference. Damn it. Then Jimmy has the brilliant idea that no one's thought of yet.
You'd make a pretty great mother.
Why doesn't Anne play the mum?
Not me. No way.
I couldn't possibly. I don't even like the guy. It's not like he's single and rich.
What's the surprise?
Oh yeah, the surprise. I forgot about that. There's still the surprise that Bridget's been going on about, but she keeps getting interrupted. So Bridget goes to the attic to get the surprise, and what do you know? It's a bloody box.
This is what I found in the attic.
Why is the box bloody? I don't understand. They couldn't find a clean box. Did they want to just make it look old? Like it's moldy? But it doesn't. It just looks like blood. This is what I found in the attic. It's Mr. Dale's parents' heads. It's their severed ring fingers with the rings still attached. It's what's left of Mr. Dale's mama. Anyway, it's not body parts, it's just ornaments. I just don't understand. Why is the box bloody? Then Jimmy, for some reason, mentions again that he's really excited to have Jean play his sister.
You know, I kind of like this.
Yeah?
Jean being my sister.
Right! Bro, stop with the incest fantasy.
Does it kind of cramp your style?
Oh, not a bit.
No. Does it cramp your style? It should! Anyway, the orphans have arrived, and so it's time to meet the poor souls who are going to be put through this borrowed Christmas.
I want to rent a Christmas.
Borrow.
Hey! Hi, kids! Come on in here!
The two littlest kids are,
Is this a princess castle? Do we get to sleep here? Sure smells good in here.
well, I can't say much.
Sure smells good in here.
Jean and Jimmy hold hands, so it's definitely a love interest. Just look at how she says hello to him.
Hey.
Anyway, then Anne starts to explain the whole plan to these kids.
I had a man come into my store the other day and say he wanted to borrow a Christmas.
A Christmas? How can you borrow Christmas?
Yes, Willie, indeed. How do you rent a Christmas? That is a great question. Anyway, Anne explains that they are going to be paid for their time, but Jean says she wants to do it for free.
I'd like to do it for free. Jimmy said he thought Mr. Dale was lonely. I'd like to do it for him as a present.
Willie doesn't care at all.
I'd rather get paid.
Then they ask about who's going to play the mum, and Anne says a professional actress is going to come in from the Actors Guild. But Willie doesn't want that. He wants Anne to be the mum. For some reason. He's never met this woman before.
I want you to be the mom.
Why does he care? Jean also agrees that Anne should play the mum.
He does have a point.
And Jimmy really agrees that Anne should play the mum.
If Jean can be my sister, you can be my mom.
God, he really just wants his two love interests to be related to him. Then they start to do intros between the kids and the house staff, but that's swiftly interrupted because Mr. Dale is coming back.
Mr. Dale's coming. I just saw him coming down the street.
Oh my god, what are we gonna do? If he sees the kids now, the whole fantasy is ruined. Then they all have to scramble to the kitchen. Letty's in her own world. Jesus, get up. Can't forget about the coats.
The coats!
Although she did, unfortunately, miss another item of clothing. Do you remember what it was? The scarf. Remember the scarf from earlier? I told you it'd come back. Then Bridget does an amazing job of not looking suspicious at all. I'm sure Mr. Dale doesn't suspect a thing.
Mr. Dale! I didn't expect you until this afternoon. Oh!
Then Bridget tells Mr. Dale to sit down. Don't worry about anything.
Have a seat. Here. Don't worry about anything.
And she walks past the scarf and kicks it under the couch. Not really. It's still sticking out. Then she circles back around because she forgot his coat and tries to kick it under the couch again. And it's still sticking out. Just pick it up! Ooh, sorry, no time to deal with the scarf. Someone is at the door.
Well, come in, sir. Come in.
And this guy is never introduced. I just have to assume he is a friend or a business partner. He is simply referred to as Sir. Don't even learn his name. Then he says this.
I'm really excited about this gift. Claire is gonna love it. I think Christmas is gonna be epic.
Who is Claire? What is the gift? None of this is explained.
I believe you.
Anyway, John starts to explain to Sir his whole plan for borrowing you Christmas. It's just a really weird scene. He's telling his friend the whole shebang. You know, that he said he's gonna rent a family, and he's gonna rent a Christmas tree, and he's gonna rent children. Even in the movie they think it's weird because the friend starts acting appropriately.
Come on, renting Christmas, borrowing Christmas, okay. A family from the rent shop. Renting a family.
Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. And a wife? She's gonna bring not one kid, 5 kids. She's gonna bring that all to you on not just any day, but a Christmas day. That's an impossibility, you know this, right?
And then not even he thinks it's actually gonna happen.
I don't fully expect her to be able to fill this order.
Just gave away 10 grand and was like, well, we'll see what happens. Then John says this.
I hear what you're saying, but I'll be honest with you. If Miss Weston thinks all I want is a few decorations, then I'd rather she just forget the whole thing.
What does that mean? She didn't pick up on the fact that I want a lovely wife who's gonna love up all on my parts and 5 lovely children all to myself for the whole evening. Then what the hell did I just pay 10 grand for? Anyway, then the friend has to try really hard to drop his pen next to the scarf so he can see the scarf, and it's not even clear why he was getting a pen. He wasn't writing anything down.
You're wearing flowered scarves now, John?
Anyway, then the scene just ends and we never find out how she talked her way out of it. I guess they couldn't think of how they... Anyway, it's Christmas Eve now and the kids are ready to fulfill their roles as loving children. They're all wearing these old clothes.
Why do we gotta wear this stuff? It itches.
Because it's what Mr. Dale wants.
And what Mr. Dale wants, Mr. Dale gets.
I hope.
Oh, that's a boom! That's a boom mic! We got a boom mic. Almost. Really good job. Then Jimmy says this.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Willie. Okay.
But no one suggested anything. And then Letty asks this.
Did me look like a princess in this?
Yes, you do mean look like a princess in this.
Well, of course you do.
Then Jimmy starts giving directions to all the kids on what they should do when Mr. Dale comes in. He says that Letty should run in and give him a hug.
Letty, as soon as you see Mr. Dale, you go up to him, you say hi, and then you give him a big hug, okay?
What?
Nope. You keep her away from him. Letty doesn't... And Jimmy further explains that she should call him Daddy.
Say, hi, Daddy.
What?
No one should call this man Daddy. He's not your daddy. Then Jean says to Jack, we better go.
We better go.
And Bridget says bye in the most normal way possible.
Bye.
Letty starts to ask Bridget about the nativity scene that's on the mantelpiece, and Bridget starts to explain.
What's that?
Well, that's called a manger scene.
But oh no! Mr. Dale's here!
He's coming!
And then he says it again.
He's coming!
I guess it was just so good they had to do it twice. So John comes in and he is just bewildered. He can't believe that this is actually happening. And it's all out of focus.
Bridget, what is all this?
I don't know, man, it's your fantasy. Then Bridget does this with her face and grabs his coat so that Mr. Dale can oogle at his tree. Oh, and here come the kids, the most important part of this whole fantasy.
Daddy's home!
Everybody is calling him Daddy, even the older girl.
Hi, Daddy! Look at the tree, Daddy!
Oh, Daddy!
Why are you saying that? Don't say that. Don't say it like that. I know it's supposed to be cute, but just with the context, it's just so weird. Stop calling him Daddy. No one should be calling him Daddy, please. Then Letty does some absolutely flawless improvising here.
There are presents too, see? I get one too, but Mom says not to touch.
Oh?
Daddy remembers. He ordered a wife.
Who, Mommy?
And then we're blessed with this. Yes.
Welcome home. Here.
But
Your favorite.
Welcome home. Here, have a cookie. Welcome home. I made cookie. Here, have one.
Oatmeal raisin.
Then Anne throws out this line about how Jean and Jack are just coming home from school.
Jack and Jean called from the station. They should be coming home any minute.
John has no idea what she's talking about, and she has to kind of remind him that we're in your fantasy. This is what you specified.
Coming home?
Yes, silly. Coming home from school.
He's just way too stunned that this is actually happening. Anyway, this all seems a bit much for John. He can't believe that his fantasy is actually coming true. He has to sit down and take a moment to mumble to himself.
God, who are the others?
Then he tries to call his wife, who I guess has forgotten the part she's playing.
Sweetheart! Sweetheart! Sweetheart!
Yes, darling.
She even left her apron untied just a little bit so that he'd have to tie it.
Your apron is coming undone.
Maybe get a little bit close. Maybe accidentally bump into her. Oops, sorry.
Oh, it's a little tight.
Then they flirt, I guess.
I don't do this very often.
You gotta tie knots, huh?
Oh, so you can tie a knot, huh? What?
Sorry.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so John calls for Bridget.
Bridget! Bridget!
She pulls the whole slipperoo on him.
I believe I'm over here, sir.
Oh.
John has to make sure that they aren't missing anything from his fantasy.
Is there anything we're missing?
I mean, he's 10 grand in the hole? Nothing could be missing now. It all looks too good to be true. If I find even one... Now it's finally time to have dinner. Ooh, I can't wait to see what Martha has been preparing in their kitchen all day. And just fade to black, I guess. Okay, no, that's fine. It's open on Letty sleeping. Oh, I guess not sleeping. I was just staring at the tree, maybe.
Martha, you are still the world's
talking
best
pretty loud.
cook.
No way she'll be able to sleep.
You took
Oh.
seconds three
Nope.
times.
Nope, there she goes, off to sleep. Anyway, now we're going to spend some time with the older two and Mr. Dale, and God damn!
Put those grippers away!
Damn, Mr. Dale might have to have a little after-dinner snack, you know what I'm saying? Thank God, here come the other kids to come sit on the couch. Wait, what? No, don't sit there!
Oh my God, those dogs are barking!
Sit somewhere else! Anyway, now it's time for carols, baby!
Listen to the carolers.
And I hope you haven't forgotten yet that the carolers are going to be played by the rest of the orphans. I mean, there was only 5 kids' roles to play. Sorry, better luck next Christmas, fellas. So they let the carolers inside and they ask for them to sing again now that they're inside.
Please sing another.
And what follows is, dare I say, a breathtaking and game-changing rendition of Silent Night.
Silent night, holy night.
Thank you for that lovely song, children. Your payment will, of course, not be in money, but will be in cookies.
Have a cookie.
Well, now that that's all done, it's time to go to bed.
All right, kids, it's time for bed.
Time to say goodnight to Daddy and have some very normal hugs.
Can I get a hug too?
And do some last-minute present wrapping.
We're gonna wrap presents.
But oh no, John realizes he doesn't have a present for his precious wife.
I don't even have a present for my own wife.
Not to worry though, Martha and her smudged lipstick are here to save the day. She and Bridget get the sapphire brooch that John just keeps in a safe upstairs because, you know, he's a millionaire. Of course, he's got brooches just lying around. Anyway, bada boom, bada beanie, we got a present for my wifey. All good. Sorted. Sussed. Ah, yes. Thank you, Bridget, for the brooch. Oh, all those sapphires are looking a bit purple, aren't they?
It's almost like the color of her eyes.
So he asks Bridget to wrap it up and then write a card saying,
To my beloved Anne, love always, John.
I think this might be getting into his head a little bit.
This is for my wife.
I think they're down for the night, but you never know.
Speak of the devil.
He never wanted to go to sleep at night.
Now shoo, with both of you. It's time for some very natural flirting between our two main characters.
I do not know how you figured out how to make them happy.
My wife just knows I'm a natural sleuth.
I'm impressed.
I'm happy.
You did good.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Eve.
Merry Christmas, John.
Lovely and fade to black so we don't have to worry about the sleeping arrangements. It's finally here, Christmas morning.
Looks like someone paid us a visit last night.
Come on down, guys. It's time for Christmas, you silly little goose.
Come on in.
Look at the floor, Jack.
No peeking.
Doesn't look like Jack got the memo.
All right, are you kids ready? 3,
Still didn't get the message, Jack?
2, 1.
Merry Christmas!
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Now it's time for Anne's present to John, the photo of his childhood home.
Well, what do we have here? It's the old house.
And now the other big present, the sapphire brooch for Daddy Dale's doting darling.
Oh,
and she loves it.
it's lovely.
Now after a filling breakfast, it's time to get a little bit real.
How you doing, Jean?
I think Mr. Dale is the best actor in the play, though.
It seems like an oversight is showing here.
I wish we could keep on like this forever. It's been fun pretending, though.
Who would have thought that the orphans might get attached to the idea of having a family? I cannot believe no one saw this coming. And now it also seems that some of the older kids don't want to get paid either.
You can forget about paying me too, Miss Weston.
They're just happy they served their Daddy Dale.
If we made Mr. Dale happy, let's just say it was our Christmas present to him.
I believe Mr. Dale's been happy as well. He and Jimmy have been out for over an hour.
But whereabouts are Jimmy and Daddy anyway?
I thought they were just taking a little walk in the snow.
Oh, they've been taking a walk in the snow.
Snow?
Couldn't have done another take. Anyway, now the squad has to figure out their exit plan. But don't worry, Anne has it covered. She suggests they just leave.
When Jimmy and Mr. Dale get back, I want you to get your coats on, go see Bridget, and she's going to take you back to Mrs. Lindsay.
Once Jimmy and Daddy come back, just grab your coats and totter off back to the orphanage, little orphan children.
Is it time already?
Ooh, it looks like Jack and Daddy are back from their walk. Turns out they were actually having a snowball fight. You goofballs.
I threw a few myself.
Then Anne gives the signal that it's time for the kids to go, very quietly.
A few of the children want to go on that walk.
Oh.
Yes, Miss Weston.
It's time for the kids to leave, but they don't want to go.
I want to stay with my new daddy.
They're all saying how they want to stay with their new family. I want to stay with my daddy. You don't have a family. Remember? You're orphans. That's why we cast you. It's time to say their final goodbyes.
Bye, Dad.
Bye, Dad. Bye-bye, Daddy.
And everybody's upset. Jean here's really going for the Oscar.
Thanks again for it. Such a nice Christmas, Daddy.
Damn, are those real tears? Oh, Jesus.
See you after a while.
So now the kids are gone, mood is down, Mr. Dale is really reflecting on his decisions, and we get what is probably the best moment in this whole movie. A flashback montage. And yes, this is their music, not mine.
That child, God and sinners reconciled to come and save his world.
Okay, now it's time for the final goodbye. We're going to say adios to the wifey.
Mr. Dale, now that your Christmas has been delivered, I suppose I should be going.
She gives him the final balance.
There's a check for the balance.
And the check back. She doesn't want to get paid?
I can't accept payment for the wonderful Christmas that you gave me.
Who's paying for everything then? Why does no one want to be paid? They just met this guy. They don't know him.
And as for the brooch...
She gives the brooch back and begins to leave.
Thank you once again and Happy New Year.
But...
Wait a minute.
Daddy Dale has a different idea. That she keep the brooch. And that she donate it to, you guessed it, the orphanage.
The orphanage?
Big reveal. He knew the whole time.
How did you find out?
I did a little sleuthing of my own.
No, that's not what happened. What actually happened is Martha let it slip the night before.
It was Martha. She let it slip last night.
Now, back to the whole donate the brooch thing. Does that mean the orphanage would need to then pawn it off to get some money for the brooch? I mean, they can't barter for goods with the brooch. so they'll have to sell it. I really don't think that's the most helpful thing that he could have done. He could have just donated the money that maybe the brooch was worth to the orphanage. I mean, I guess they could like take turns wearing the brooch maybe. Then, because this movie has to drag everything out, John asks Anne to ask him if he was satisfied with the service he received.
Are you satisfied?
No.
Oh?
I'm not.
Oh.
Not at all.
Surprise? Obviously, this makes Anne furious. I mean, she just put on all this effort to make this whole borrowed Christmas a great success. She starts going in on Daddy Dale.
The truth is, Mr. Dale, the moment that you stepped in my store, you asked me to give you a Christmas. I got you the tree.
did that.
The tree
Exactly.
meant so much to you when you opened it. Open it up on Christmas Day.
Can I interrupt? You see, you taught me something these past couple of days. You have taught me that nothing borrowed, nothing rented is ever going to permanently satisfy.
Ah.
What's going to make me happy is something that I can call my very own.
Great, it looks like he's finally learning.
See, I want Christ in the middle of everything that I do.
Oh yeah. I forgot this is a Christian movie. I mean, it makes sense, it's on Living Scriptures, but it's only at the end that we get that.
And because you taught me about Christmas, I want to tell you right now a little secret.
Oh?
I want to adopt those children.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense. Definitely vet him though, man. Triple background checks. Way too many red flags. But wait, he's not done yet.
I'm sure that will make you happy.
Not fully, because there's something else I want in my life that I want Christ in the center of. Give me your hand. Miss Anne Weston.
Ooh.
I am not going to be happy unless I'm with you.
Is he proposing?
You are everything I've ever dreamed of, everything I've ever wanted in a wife. I want you to keep this brooch. You said just a few minutes ago it should remain in my family. I'm giving it to you with the hope and the prayer that that's going to be the case.
He's not saying it, but he is?
I'm asking you to let me earn the right to have this Christmas forever.
He still isn't really saying anything.
Can I ask you a favor? Miss Anne Weston.
Sure.
Ooh, is he gonna do it?
May I walk you home?
Oh.
Oh, please.
Okay.
Please.
It's just a confusing mess.
Oh.
Wait, so are they gonna adopt Jimmy? Does he have a family or is he still an orphan? Can you have a job as an orphan? Like if you are an orphan at an orphanage and you live at the orphanage, can you have a job? Like you go to your job and then you go back to the orphanage? Oh, and Martha heard the whole thing.
I need to go bake cookies for my new family.
And that's how it ends. On a very confusing note. And also with the best guitar music I've ever heard. So I guess Daddy Dale got everything he wanted, all in the span of 10 days. An entire family, all at once, all strangers. I'm sure that'll work out great. I always wonder about movies like this and if the people making them actually watch the movie before releasing it. How could you think in any way that this is a good movie? Or do you know it's bad and you're releasing it as a blessing to the rest of us so we all get to enjoy your failure? I mean, it's a good movie, just not for any of the right reasons. Or not for any of the reasons they probably would have wanted. We do thank you for your service. Anyway, Living Scriptures has a bunch of gems just like this one that I'd love to make future videos on. So if you're down for that, stick around. Stay tuned. Like I said, the Cam Hall Variety Show is just going to be a variety of different things that I like doing. Stuff like this. Art. Maybe a little bit of music. Maybe I'm gonna learn street magic. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I don't know how to end this video. Happy Christmas. I hope you get all the presents you want. And I hope that there are 37, not 36, because last year there was 37, and I counted them myself. Now, it wouldn't be a Christmas. It wouldn't be a Christmas Now, it wouldn't be a Christmas... I did it again.